So we're going to use those two forms to try to grow that vendor database. And remember, trying to coach them up on how to get Google reviews. So we've talked about how to get the reviews. We've talked about how to set up the multiple locations. We've talked about how to set up the Google My Business profile. Now I want to talk about how to actually merge it with your sphere of influence, okay? And this is the interesting thing here. When we take it to that next level and we talk about, okay, so we've got all this information about Google, and believe it or not, Google local service ads and Google My Business profiles aren't limited just to real estate. They are actively being embraced by stockbrokers, insurance agents, anybody in professional services, accountants, lawyers, you name it, plumbers, anyone in the service industry right now. We in real estate just kind of take for granted that we're the most progressive with regards to technology when compared to all of those other industries. Like, we move at lightning speed. Like, we're moving faster than Google right now. Like, Google can't keep up with our phone calls. Google can't keep up with our questions. And if you haven't started getting Google screened yet to be a Google agent, then you're going to find that out really soon. It's a frustrating process. And only the people that are dogged about it and stay with it are the ones that are getting through it in a timely fashion. Understand that you have valuable knowledge if you know how to set up your Google My Business profile. If you know how to drive reviews, like we've talked about in this group. If you know how to set up multiple My Profile locations, and if you know how to use local service ads. So what you can do is actually use that for business to business marketing, okay? We've got, look at that, Gabriella just put in the chat room, her CPA is her biggest referral source, 19 closed transactions directly from her. And that is wonderful. Understand, every real estate agent should have multiple accountants and lawyers and insurance agents in their database. Oh, and don't forget financial advisors. All four of those professions tell people when to buy and sell real estate. So you need a real estate wills and trust attorney, you need a probate attorney, you need a real estate attorney, you need a contracts attorney, business attorney, you need one of each of those because they all tell people when to buy or sell. You need accountants, you need all of these people, and you need to create a big database of all of these people because they will refer you business. They'll refer you business in exchange for value that you will provide to them. And in this case, it might be you just showing them how to set up their Google My Business profile. We've got clients at ICC that are shooting screen share Zoom videos, since you all know how to do that now, walking them through by clicking on different tabs like I showed you how to sign up and generate a Google My Business profile. You can literally shoot a video and send it, and just make a generic one that you send to every person, in your vendor database, which should be a part of your sphere of influence database, right? And now you're adding value. Or you could just be kind of walking them through it one by one on a drop-by type of deal. Or you could be doing a client workshop where you invite everyone in your database to come attend so you can help them increase their online presence. And you become this expert, this marketing expert that adds value to them, that comes from contribution, that helps people, that doesn't just always ask for business all the time, that actually gives a little bit, right? So you can take this knowledge, which actually, once you do it, this Google stuff is super easy. I mean, if any of you have done it, it's really, you got to get through some obstacles and stuff, but setting up your Google My Business profile and getting reviews and generating a link to send people to reviews, that's all you need to teach people. That's it. And they'll go crazy. It's amazing how they don't have it set up. It's amazing how many of you didn't have it set up when I started talking about it. Now you can just imagine what a plumber or an electrician has going for them, let alone a lawyer. Lawyers still use scrolls and green lamps. They don't even know how to use Microsoft Word. It's crazy. I'm not joking. So if you can add value to these people, they're thinking they need to hire people and have this whole thing undone, and you can just show them how to do it in 10 seconds themselves. They will owe you business forever. And of course, the other way to get their business is to send them business. And we'll talk about that in a minute. That's kind of the old-fashioned way, but it works really, really well. But what I would start doing is thinking about, number one, we need to create a vendor list, right? A real estate vendor list, okay? So that's the first thing we need to do here. Let me show you what one of those looks like, and I'm gonna give this to you. And you can see this trusted vendor list, right? And it's just a little vendor list, and you can actually edit this completely. So all these are editable, and we can, as we scroll down, just have one for each category. This is a very simple one. This is not a big one. This might be one you also include in your listing presentation template, your online listing presentation, your buyer consultation template, things like that. So we have those in your packages to make sure we give to people, right? And then you can actually show your vendors, hey, I want to include you on this form. You could email it to them, you could drop it by them or whatever we do. I want to put you on here as a preferred vendor. I would never say exclusive. Don't ever be exclusive, for not only for licensing reasons, but just for limit you on having multiple options to provide different levels of customer service to different people. But I would definitely do that and make sure that we have vendors, and just reaching out to fill these positions is huge, because now we have a reason to reach out and tell people, hey, we're trying to grow our vendor list, right? Usually that's what we're trying to show as a marketing piece. But for us in the coaching world, we do something different. I want you to stretch your brain, because you're always trying to grow your SOI. And the more people we can add value to, the more people that we can generate business to, the more people we can get contact information from, the bigger our network, the bigger our SOI, the bigger our book of business, the bigger our income. So you really need to stretch your brain here, okay, in a very, very big way. So I'm going to show you a little bit of how we do that with our clients. And what we'll do is we'll stretch our brain this way with this worksheet. And I'm going to share this with you too. And bear with me, it's an Microsoft Excel spreadsheet that you fill out. And this is a brain exercise for you. As you scroll through it, this is endless amounts of different industries. I don't even think I start at the top. Let me start at the top just to be more impressive. So we start with accountants, and it starts with the A's, so it's alphabetical. And as we shoot down through it, I mean, we're still in the A's, and then we start moving to the C's and the D's, electricians, fireplace, installers, hairstylists, jewelry stores, locksmiths, every industry you could possibly think of, all the way down to the bottom. And then we want you to at least get 3 people you know from each industry. You do that, you're gonna have like hundreds of people right there. And if you don't know them, it's a reason to reach out to add them to your vendor list and ask them if it's okay if you start referring them business. Does this make sense? It's how you grow your SOI instantly overnight. Now we can start inviting them to free workshops about how to grow their business. We can use helping them with Google My Business profile as a way to do it. And then we put their contact information. You can see this tab down at the bottom. We can write all their contact information to put them into your CRM here, so that they are uploaded into your database. Make sense? Okay. So we're going to use those 2 forms to try to grow that vendor database. And remember, trying to coach them up on how to get Google reviews. Use some of the forms we've given you about how to reach out to your SOI and send out that mass email to everybody to ask for 5-star Google reviews. Try to ask about, use the social media posts we've recommended to post on Facebook, to how to get Google reviews. These are things you can turn around and share with these other business owners, and you'll be shocked. None of them know anything about it. So you can do one-on-one conversations, you can have workshops, you can go to their house and give their whole team a lecture. You can go to entire trade associations. You want to talk to the local mortgage bankers association. You want to talk to the local bar, which is the attorneys association. They usually have trade associations where you can talk about this, where you can actually start training people up and look like a marketing expert, which just happens to be what people want when they list with an agent. They want a marketing expert. Okay. So there's that one.